Keenan.
Hey, is this Mr. Hackett?
Steve Hackett here. Hi there.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. Thanks so much for doing this interview with us.
It's all right. Pleasure.
So you'll be coming to Montreal on February 11th at Place des Arts Theatre.
Indeed.
My father's birthday.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Your birthday's the day right after that.
Yeah, well, my birthday is the 12th of February. That's me.
Right. You guys should celebrate together. So,
Yeah, sounds good.
So, over the past 7 years, you've had a few sold-out shows in Montreal. Except this time you'll be playing some Genesis songs that you haven't performed much since the 1970s.
That's right, indeed, yes. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Yeah, I do 50% with my shows. I tend to do two halves where it's solo material and then we do Genesis stuff. That's the way it tends to work. But I'm still very proud of those songs that I was involved with writing with the band. So it's an interesting era, all of that stuff. In 1973. John Lennon gave an interview and said that Genesis was one of the bands he was listening to at that time, and that was at a point where we could barely get a show in North America. So, that was very, let's just say, inspiring at that point. It meant that we weren't playing to deaf ears entirely.
For sure. So does playing those songs, does it bring on a feeling of nostalgia?
Oh, I think yes, nostalgia, but I think more than that. I think of that material as timeless, and I fought hard for it then, and I continue to fight hard for it now. And luckily, there's an audience that really loves that stuff. I think it was game-changing material, and much of it very unlikely stuff. I don't think it was at all formula. There were no guarantees at that time that media was going to like anything that we did, or indeed that audiences were going to like it. But I'm talking ancient history. But nonetheless, it still works its magic.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, you have an incredibly large repertoire of music yourself from over 40 years of being a musician. But I imagine that not all of your creations made the cut always. Do you ever dig through your archives of music to try to, let's say, revive and bring to light some of your ideas and creations that have, let's say, been put on hold for a few years now?
Oh, well, I think all musicians do that. All people that write, there's this great big long jigsaw of tiny little pieces, and piece number 1003 might go with piece number 2014, perhaps.
Yeah.
And we're always looking for connections, unlikely connections, but it doesn't work chronologically. You don't always get things sequentially. It'd be lovely to write a song from beginning to end every time, but it doesn't always work like that. And last time I did a studio album, I started with a guitar solo, which ironically ended up being the end of one particular tune. And so I don't always start at the beginning, for sure. And ideas get revived, whether you're working with a band or not. People take ideas and they represent them, and they get knocked out and then represented, and sometimes those things end up becoming hits. That was certainly the case with Genesis, with the first hit single, I Know What I Like. There was a reject riff that I came up with the year earlier, around about the time of Foxtrot. And then that's something that, I think I Know What I Like was our first hit single. So thank you, Mr. Phil Collins, for what he was doing as well. So,
for sure. So I guess you can't really say that you're going to write a hit song. Sometimes you just write whatever comes to mind, and then it unfolds and blossoms into a hit song.
I think so. I know that a lot of people like to think that it's a science, but I think you'd have to be very smug to say that. Yeah, you might be at a stage in your career where everything was going for you. You look wonderful, you've got great hair, fabulous teeth, and you dance like Miriam, and you've got a voice like an angel, and you might think it's in the bag, but I think even for those people, there's often a rude awakening. I think songs have got they've got their own life. They're either a real tune or they aren't. Sometimes a song will be stillborn, or it might sprout legs or even wings, and far outpace your most outrageous dreams. Luckily, I've been party to that a few times.
Yeah, I guess maybe it also depends on the vibes of the listeners or the generation. What's hot?
All of those factors. The listener, and I think the listener is ultimately the true owner of it. I think that a listener, somebody who is moved enough to make something that you do part of their emotional calendar, something that becomes unforgettable in every sense. And often I think writers and performers, musicians, don't always understand the power of what they've done, and they dismiss it and move on because the factory fires are always burning with professionals. But there's something that the audience get, and sometimes I talk to other people who've loved certain songs that I've loved, and we come to the same conclusion. It often conjures the same images, and then I'll talk to the writer, and they say, "Oh, I wasn't thinking of that at all, but that's interesting." So the listener, the true owner is the audience always.
Right, yeah, for sure. And so, your style is mostly, you'd say, progressive rock?
Sorry?
Your style of music would be progressive rock, which songs of that genre, they tend to be lengthier in time, much less simple and cookie cutter than your typical, let's say, pop song. And I noticed that in today's music industry, a lot of the time radios may not necessarily be open to playing a newly released 9-minute song, for example. In that case, what is your incentive for writing or playing music? Is it mostly for self-expression, for the fans? What's your drive?
Okay, well, I think that songs work on a number of levels. The kind of songs that don't get played on the radio function, I suspect, to listeners in the following way. It's a little bit like a film with a number of different scenes. It might not always be desirable to tell the story in 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, but something like Supper's Ready with Genesis,
right,
which is 23 minutes long,
mm-hmm.
to rival the length of any piece, a symphony, a concerto, or whatever you want to call it. Something like that is never going to get played on anything but the most uncritical college radio, perhaps. But it has another function with listeners. It's not the kind of stuff that's necessarily going to engage media, because it can't. It's not written to order. It's not written to fill a slot.
Right.
So those songs function like films for the ear in a way. The other type of song, which I've also been involved with, is the short form thing, and I've got no problem with being involved in that. For instance, When the Heart Rules the Mind, a song I was involved with writing with Steve Hackett when we had the band GTR,
right,
in the mid-1980s. That was a hit single. Funny enough, I've just re-recorded it and I'm going to play it live. So that addresses the other thing. That was, luckily, it happened to be, I think, a very good song and was media-friendly. And at that time in our careers, when we were in our mid-30s, MTV was basically... that was the Sermon on the Mount. If they told you something was was good. That was it. It had the world's ear and eye at that time.
Right.
That is no longer the case because the business has fractured much more so since then. Now, of course, there are other outlets. There are other ways of getting your message across. At that time, artists didn't have their own labels and their access to social media. But it means these days everyone can have their virtual newspaper, and everyone gets to be their own publicist to a certain extent. But
right.
We still need all those other things. We need everything going for it. Every song, every artist needs to engage. First of all, with himself and with the material, but then we all need each other. It's that symbiotic relationship. So I don't think that we can afford to bypass media and radio and also magazines and record companies, because we all need the greatest penetration into the market that we can possibly do. And anyone who says that they're not trying for that is lying.
Yeah. Okay, so now, I have this burning question. You have a serious legacy and influence on some of the biggest guitar legends. And it's said that you pretty much created the finger tapping and guitar sweeping techniques. That is a massive innovation and pioneering. So, for example, how does Eddie Van Halen feel about that?
Well, he's credited me with the influence, and there are others who say nice things about me, which is great.
Yeah.
I think, my influence there was, I was trying to play a line that would have been easier for a keyboard player to do, and I wanted to do a very big jump, and I figured that it was best to use the fretboard like a keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
That was tapping. The other thing is sweep picking technique, which functions in the same way that a violinist does, who's rocking the bow backwards and forwards with a fixed position with the left hand. So it's borrowing from other instruments. I was certainly doing that consciously with the tapping technique. With the sweep picking, I was less conscious of that. But I figured that out after I worked with violinists and I saw what they were doing, and it's remarkably similar.
Okay. But how did you? So like the sweep picking, you're saying that it came more subconsciously, compared to the finger tapping. But so you thought of this idea, thinking that it would be something unique, and you tried it out and it worked.
Yeah, I think originally I was doing it on acoustic guitar, and
right.
It was a way of playing very, very fast, but with fixed positions with the left hand. You just move the same fixed position up and down the frets. And I think I was using it to do triplets first of all, and then I realised you could do more with it. But if you've got a distorted guitar sound, you really need to be able to damp at the same time, which is quite tricky. But you need everything going for you. But when it comes off, it can be really, really good. It's a really clever technique, if I may say so. And every time I try it doesn't always come off. I might need to turn the distortion down a little bit each time.
Okay.
To do that, because you need a certain amount of cleanliness to make that work.
Right.
So yeah, you might be set up for single line stuff, and then maybe that amount of overdrive isn't necessarily going to assist you doing something, as I say, started out as an acoustic guitar technique. Okay.
And, so, it's basically, you take a chance, you see what works, and I guess a lot of writing music and being in this industry is about taking a chance. And I've heard that the music industry can be a very vicious, unforgiving machine. And what makes the rough times worth it?
Well, I think love of music, and separating out what is the music business and what is music. If you regard music purely as a commodity, you're missing out on the magic, the alchemy that exists with the crafting of a song. You know, the anvil and the hammer of that, or kicking it into shape, if you will. There's something about wrestling with the medium that is satisfying in itself. I know that, for instance, my pal Peter Gabriel prefers the moment before a song is actually completely finished. He likes the point at which some of it is going to be spontaneous. So you've got that. And of course, the jazz man, someone who's improvising, has always got that in hand. He's always got that ace up his sleeve, because even he doesn't know what hand he's going to play. But music as commodity, that's another matter. You know, the idea of writing to order, or yes, you know, the act of will that goes with that. But I prefer, you know, the idea of saying that, you know, music is its own reward, it's its own currency. What we really want is bottled lightning each time. And sometimes it feels, when you've just done something and it works just great, and perhaps the band that you're working with has just managed to pull it off and do the impossible, that does feel, it's something before it's taken in front of the judges, before the naysayers, before the audience that gets to hopefully love and accept it. There's a moment that's very short just before that when you can feel very proud of it. So that's my motivation.
For sure. So it is the music, and not just necessarily all the great parties and good times with fellow musicians, and so it is the music that keeps the drive going.
I think so. Yeah, it's the process of discovery, of pushing yourself, and I also think that the songs where you perhaps feel, I don't want to say for the least commitment to, but the least confidence about, often those songs end up being the strongest. It means that they're the ones you have to work harder at. You know, these things are not the immaculate conception.
Okay.
A lot of it comes, feet first into the world. It's not always, sometimes it comes out kicking and screaming.
For sure.
Not always an easy process.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to fight very hard. Sometimes you fight your own prejudice and the prejudice of others. I've got a little saying, which is you have to make yourself unpopular to be popular. Sometimes you've got to go through that. You've got to go through that rat run.
Okay, Mr. Hackett. Well, I mean, I'm sure your experiences as a professional musician are quite extensive. However, I'm sure there's usually always room for more experiences. Therefore, because this is Bucketlist Music Reviews, we'd like to know what is still on your bucket list.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Longevity, I think, is really the thing. I'm lucky. My fingers are flying at the moment.
Yeah.
They're working very well. It's all, to be able to function and be match fit is part of it. But then also to write a great tune. It's like Pete Townsend said, you can either write a great tune or you can't. You can either write a good song or you can't.
Right.
He thinks it's all down to that. I think luck plays its part, of course. But in order to have luck, you've got to stay in the game. You've got to keep playing the tables.
Okay. Well, look, Mr. Hackett, we are so excited to have you back in Montreal on February 11th.
Looking forward to it tremendously.
And we thank you so much for this interview. And I will wish you a very happy birthday in advance.
Thank you very much.
And I can't wait for your show. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Take care. All the best.
Thank you, Keenan. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.